You're standing on it right now, solid, unshakable, permanent. Or so you've been told. But here's the thing no one tells you in school. The ground beneath your feet is a lie, a beautifully convincing, magnificently slow-motion lie. The continent you're standing on is sinking, drifting, tearing at the seams. The land you call home has been swallowed by oceans, scorched by impacts from space, and will one day be completely unrecognizable to any map ever drawn. Earth doesn't sit still. It never has. And the deeper we look, beneath the ice, beneath the seafloor, beneath the assumptions we've held for centuries, the stranger and more spectacular it gets. This is the story of a living planet. And it is nothing like you imagined. In the next 9 minutes, we're going to tear the map apart. We'll travel to ancient continents that sank beneath the Pacific, follow a crack splitting Africa in two, discover hidden worlds buried under Antarctic ice, and look ahead to the supercontinent that will reshape everything. Hundreds of millions of years from now, every chapter of this story is real. Every phenomenon has been measured, mapped, and in some cases, only just discovered. This isn't science fiction. This is Earth, the most extreme planet we know of, right under our feet. 18,000 years ago, a sheet of ice 2 miles thick, pressed down on the North American continent. It was so heavy, so incomprehensibly massive, that it pushed the Earth's crust downward, compressing the mantle beneath like a slow-motion mattress. Then, the ice melted. And something extraordinary happened. The land started coming back up. Now, not quickly, not visibly, but measurably. To this day, parts of Canada are rising at roughly 1 centimeter per year. A geological rebound, still playing out 12,000 years after the ice disappeared. Scientists call it glacial isostatic adjustment. The planet has a memory, and it is still recovering. Meanwhile, in other parts of North America, the opposite is happening. Coastal cities are sinking, a combination of groundwater extraction, sediment compaction, and the sheer weight of everything we've built on top of the Earth. The ground shifts, whether we ask it to or not. This is the first truth of Earth's architecture. The crust isn't a fixed shell. It's a dynamic skin, forever responding to the forces pressing on it from above and below. For centuries, the world map showed 7 continents. But in 2017, geologists made it official. There's an 8th. It's called Zealandia. And 94% of it is underwater. Roughly the size of Greater India, Zealandia is a full continental mass, with its own distinct geology, its own ancient history, its own tectonic identity. It broke away from the supercontinent Gondwana around 80 million years ago, drifted north, and slowly, over tens of millions of years, slipped beneath the waves. All that remains above the surface today are the islands of New Zealand and a handful of smaller specks scattered across the southwestern Pacific. But just because it's drowned doesn't mean it's gone. Beneath those deep blue waters lies granite, sedimentary rock, and a continental crust far thicker and more buoyant than the oceanic floor surrounding it. Zealandia is a reminder that our maps are not truth. They're just a snapshot, a single frame in a film that never stops running. And it wasn't the only drowned world. During the last ice age, so much water was locked in glaciers that sea levels dropped by over 100 meters. 2 regions now submerged were once vast, inhabited landmasses. Sundaland in Southeast Asia connected modern Indonesia to the mainland, and Sahul bridged Australia to New Guinea. These were ancient highways, walked by our own ancestors, now buried under the sea. The history of humanity itself is written in terrain we can no longer see. In the Afar region of Ethiopia, the ground is literally opening up. Not metaphorically, not slowly, in some imperceptible geological sense you'll never witness in your lifetime. In 2005, a series of eruptions tore a 35-mile crack through the desert floor in just 10 days. Some sections dropped 10 feet in an instant. This is the East African Rift System, and it is the beginning of a new ocean. The African tectonic plate is splitting in two. On one side, the Somali plate is peeling away from the Nubian plate, pulled apart by the churning motion of the mantle far below. The rift runs thousands of miles from the Afar Triangle in the north, through Ethiopia, Kenya, Tanzania, and down into Mozambique. It has already carved the Great Lakes of East Africa, Tanganyika, Malawi, Turkana, vast basins formed by the earth pulling itself apart. 10 million years from now, the Horn of Africa will be an island. 50 million years from now, there will be a new ocean where today there is grassland and savanna. The process is slow by human reckoning, but it is absolute. It cannot be stopped. The continent is moving, and the planet will not ask permission. This is how oceans are born. This is how Pangea first began to break. We are watching, right now, in real time, the opening chapter of geography that won't be fully written for millions of years. Earth has been hit thousands of times by objects ranging from pebbles to mountains hurtling through space at tens of thousands of miles per hour. And while our atmosphere and geology have erased most of the evidence, some wounds survive, hidden in plain sight. In Quebec, Canada, the Manicouagan Reservoir forms a perfect ring, so geometrically circular that it's visible from space. It's the remnant of an impact crater from 200 million years ago, carved by an object roughly 5 kilometers wide. From the ground, you'd never know. From orbit, it is unmistakable. Beneath the ice of Antarctica, radar surveys have revealed something even more dramatic. A crater over 2 kilometers deep, hiding beneath the Wilkes Land ice sheet. If confirmed as an impact structure, it would be one of the largest ever found on Earth. A possible cause of the Permian-Triassic extinction, the most catastrophic mass dying in the entire history of complex life. And then there's Canada's gravity anomaly. The Hudson Bay region has measurably lower gravitational pull than the rest of the planet. The reason? That same vanished ice sheet. The crust was pushed so deep that even 12,000 years later, the mantle hasn't fully returned. Gravity itself carries the memory of ice. The surface of Earth is a palimpsest, written over again and again, but never fully erased. Every map you've ever seen is temporary. 250 million years ago, all of Earth's landmasses were fused into a single supercontinent, Pangea. Then it broke apart. The Atlantic Ocean opened. India collided with Asia and thrust the Himalayas skyward. The world became what we know today, but the plates never stopped moving. And in another 250 million years, they will have completed a new cycle. The continents will collide again. Scientists have proposed several models for this future supercontinent. One of the most compelling is Pangea Proxima, a configuration where the Americas collide with Europe and Africa as the Atlantic Ocean closes, and Australia fuses with Asia. The collision zones would produce mountain ranges dwarfing the Himalayas. Entirely new ocean basins would open where today there is dry land. Yet another model, Amasia, predicts the continents will converge over the Arctic as the Pacific Ocean closes instead. Under either scenario, the world map 300 million years from now will be as alien to us as our current map would be to a trilobite. The Earth is not finished. It has never been finished. Every configuration of land and sea you've ever known, every coastline, every mountain range, it's all provisional, a temporary arrangement between forces that have been at work for 4.5 billion years and show no sign of stopping. The planet you live on is not a backdrop, it is a character. One with a 4 billion year history and a future that stretches so far ahead that human civilization, in its entirety, barely registers as a footnote. Continents have risen from the sea and been swallowed back into it, while oceans have opened and sealed themselves shut. Ice has reshaped gravity. Space has left its craters carved into the crust. And through all of it, through every extinction, every eruption, every catastrophic collision, the Earth has kept moving. It is moving right now beneath you as you watch this. The crack in East Africa is growing. The Canadian Shield is rising. Somewhere deep in the Pacific, two plates are grinding against each other in silence. Zealandia rests in the dark, far below the surface, patient as stone. This planet is extraordinary, not in spite of its violence and instability, but because of it. The chaos is the engine. The tearing and the sinking and the crashing is what makes it alive, and we get to live on it. If this video shifted the way you see the ground beneath your feet, share it with someone who needs their world rearranged a little. Subscribe if you want to keep exploring the planet we thought we knew, and drop a comment below. What part of Earth's story surprised you most? The next video goes even deeper. You won't want to miss it.